The report deals with the issue of demonstrations and the use of force during demonstrations by the police. And so we looked at 76 countries around the world at their laws concerning demonstrations and how it should be policed. And so we make recommendations about possible reforms that could be implemented, especially on the domestic level. The issue is really then the excessive use of force in the context of some of these demonstrations. And I think we saw in a number of countries that live rounds were used in terms of crowd control. And the question we want to ask is, in the context of demonstrations, are there ways in which one can really facilitate the protection of life better in future? And I do think the events we've seen around the world are really, in a way, a point where we can say we need to reflect on this to make sure that we, as far as possible, that lives are preserved even in the exercise of freedom of assembly. For the countries that are known to us, where there were, for example, states of emergency in place and where the police had strong powers, and in Tunisia and Egypt there were loss of life, and then of course beyond that in Libya, other countries as well. So I think that demonstrates that this is really an explosive right to have freedom of assembly. That things can go wrong, and we need to look at how to do that. But the important point is one needs to do it in advance. Once the process starts and people are on the streets and they're protesting, if you then want to change the training of the police, if you want to change the legal framework within which they operate, it's too late. So one has to do that quite well in advance. And I think that's really the lesson learned, is that we, with so many human rights things, we see where there are situations that need to be addressed, that we then need to look at what had gone wrong, and we must make sure in future that we address it in a better way.